you probably have heard us mention, and we've already had a ton of entries so far. It's a contest called Classic Kid of the Month, and we've teamed up with Toadhall Toys to offer a $50 gift card at the very last Tuesday of every month for the name that we draw from our ballot box. And we had some great entries so far, and we decided to bring in Kari England. She's the owner of Toadhall Toys. She's been there for a while. Her family actually started it back in the 70s, and we wanted to chat with her a little bit about Toadhall Toys in case you haven't heard of it. So she's my guest in the studio this morning. Good morning, Kari.
Good morning, Michael.
Fix this mic here.
Okay, thank you.
I just had to fix the mic for her. I should have done that before. But anyway, we're all set now. So tell me a little bit about Kari. This is a store that has been in your family since, what, 1977?
Right. We're going to be celebrating our 40th anniversary this coming summer.
So it was started by your parents, correct?
It was. My parents, my father had a previous career in consulting and environmental management, and they decided they needed to do something different. He didn't want to work for anybody else anymore. So they discussed options, and toys won.
Well, usually when you talk about options, where did toys come into have they always been a fan of toys, or when you grew up, before they opened the shop, were toys something that was really big around your house, or was it just
more so the hunt for toys that they wanted for me? Growing up, there was Eaton's, the Bay, Sears. It was generalized toys, nothing exciting, nothing that required a lot of thought and interaction, didn't engage for very long. So when we would travel to Toronto to visit family, there was always this wonderful little store that my parents would frequent, brought in toys from Europe, and they were enchanted. And they were things that they loved for me to play with, and I would play with for hours and hours. So when it came time to do a career change, they thought, there's nothing in Winnipeg for parents and caregivers like them. So off they went, and almost 40 years later, we're still providing what we call parents and caregivers with things that just engage and excite kids.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember any particular toys that you first came into contact with that were like that for you? Or
yeah, Bowfix, which
Bowfix?
Bowfix. It was a building toy, if you can think of Meccano, but wooden.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember making this most amazing merry-go-round with horses. And I played with that for hours. There were science kits that I'd never seen before, making a crystal radio, making crystals, just so many things. And they're all up in the attic at my parents' house still.
They're all having a party up in your attic?
No, something like that.
Something like that. So I'm not, without giving away your age, because we're the same age anyway.
Yes, we went to school together.
Yes.
We
went to Kelvin, we went to River Heights. We were kind of reminiscing about that before. And you didn't recognize me. Probably I have less hair now, that's for sure. I used to have long curly hair, but that's all a thing of the past because, kids do that and time moves on. But I lost my train of thought. I was thinking about my curly hair and I totally lost my train of thought.
That's all right.
No, so these toys, you guys started in 1977, and this is obviously a time when kids were quote unquote unplugged. There weren't,
for the most part, we had 3 channels on TV.
Well, and there was Atari. Remember, Atari came into the mix somewhere in there, but we grew up pretty much without any electronic toys or electronic games, and you've continued that tradition in the store of not promoting that kind of stuff. So how are you able in a day and age when video games rule to still get parents and kids interested in these toys? What is it about these sort of unplugged toys that is still appealing?
Part of it is certain things, board games, puzzles, they tend to bring families together. So you're creating memories as opposed to just becoming self-satisfied. Something I try to explain to people when they say, when they call and they say, do you have Atari, not Atari, but whatever the latest Game Boy or whatever is.
Atari,
and I say
you're
no.
dating yourself.
I know. Well, you brought it up. And, they ask for the latest advertised toys and we say no. And they say, well, what do you have? And I say, well, we have 57,000 different items. And you probably haven't seen most of them. Mm-hmm. When we go to trade shows, the amount of things that we have to choose from is actually staggering.
Overwhelming,
Yeah, by about 3 o'clock, I'm full. I'm done for the day. But all we do is try to encourage people to walk through the door, and they're amazed. We can recognize when somebody has walked in the door for the first time because they just stand at the top and their eyes kind of go side to side, and they say, "Oh, wow, I didn't know this existed." And something that I think speaks to what we have is our tagline is, "Do you remember your childhood?" We do. So we have the things that you had as a kid, whether it was the blocks, the certain books that you had as a kid, and then we can build on those.
Give me an example of some of the things you have. I know when you walk into your store, there's a lot of books there too, and then you make your way further back, and there's almost like what is it? Kind of collectibles and figures, and sort of describe what how the store is laid out for us. In case, I mean, I imagine most people have been there at least once, but for those that haven't. Describe the store.
Well, first of all, it's 5,000 square feet, so it's quite large. It's in an old turn-of-the-century warehouse building in the Exchange.
Yeah.
So we have the lovely hardwood floors that are well-worn and creaky. We know where you are in the store. The old pressed tin ceiling. When you first walk in the store, if you take a hard left, you enter into what we call sort of our collectible area and three-dimensional puzzle area. All those things that are weird and wonderful. And I always said I wanted to have a takarama shop. And so all the things that fit into that genre. So whether you have an office party or you need to get something for that uncle you haven't seen in a while, it's over there.
That's the place. Hang a left.
Hang a left. If you hang a right instead, you'll end up either in the book area or heading down past all the retro candy into the infant toddler section, which enters into a glass cabinet filled with chess, checkers, backgammon sets. Turn the corner and you'll come up an aisle with filled with jigsaw puzzles. And as I was telling you, one of the greatest things in there are family puzzles. So it's a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle with pieces cut in 3 different sizes. Large pieces for the 7 and under set. Easy handling pieces for seniors or those with limited vision. And regular size puzzle pieces for the adults in your life. So the whole family can gather around and do this.
Make sure the adults don't steal those big ones. Those
Absolutely.
are supposed to be for the kids.
Across the aisle from all the puzzles are board games, and we have a selection that deals from the youngest of 2.5 just starting to understand turn-taking, cooperative games, so there's no winner, no loser. Everybody comes to a satisfactory conclusion or start again. Around the corner from that, you'll head right into our magic section.
Yes,
and we have magicians on staff on Thursday and Friday evenings and Saturdays. Turn around, head up the art aisle into music, Playmobil. Then you can hit the back of the store, and we head through performing arts, all puppets and dress up. We call role play, so things we do every day that is scaled down, because I don't know if you've ever had your 2-year-old try to sweep with your broom. It is dangerous, so we have nice small ones.
Someone might lose an eye.
Exactly. And then we have a huge science section, large muscle area, so great things, pogo sticks, stilts. I've missed several sections, but at the back is all of our hobbies. So we have trains and miniatures, model kits. Everything. We cater 0 to 99.
So it's like kind of walking into Willy Wonka's shop, and just in terms of amazement, in terms of adults and children, like when I picture them walking into Willy Wonka's factory there, and not just the kids, but the adults are just wide-eyed in amazement. It's like that. Every time I walk into your store, often I don't come in with a kid. Often I just come in with my wife or a friend and stuff like that, and we love it. We love walking around in there.
We try every time somebody says, "Well, I don't have kids," I say, "So?"
Yeah.
You have to grow older, but you don't have to grow up.
There's a new slogan.
Maybe.
I'm speaking with Kari England, the owner of Toadhall Toys, and we've teamed up with them to bring Classic Kid of the Month. Last Tuesday of every month, we're giving away a $50 gift card for Toadhall Toys.
Absolutely.
And just quickly, we'll wrap up with one last thing. What is your favorite toy these days? You remember, you're allowed to have toys, even though you're an adult.
My favorite
Putting you on the spot. Something for this season that's new to you that you've really been intrigued by.
Stickbot.
Stickbot. Okay, quickly, what is Stickbot?
It combines creativity with technology. It's literally a figure that you pose. But you can pose it against a green screen, and you can choose a font, or not a font, that's the wrong word. You download an app, which then you can load video behind. You can tell it what you want to do. If you want it, if you want your figure to jump, it's doing stop motion animation basically, and there's a whole YouTube channel devoted to it. And
so it combines technology with still hands-on creativity,
because you have to come up with some sort of story. And you have to have an idea of what your character wants to do. And I've seen some amazing things come out of kids doing this.
Stickbot.
Yes.
You heard it here. It's the next big thing, Stickbot. I'll have to check out some of the videos, and for sure you want to check out Toadhall Toys. What address?
54 Arthur Street in the heart of the Exchange.
54 Arthur. That's where they've been since day one?
No? Almost. 2 years we were around the corner on McDermott Avenue, but the space was not large enough to contain us.
All right. So you've outgrown that, and you've been in there for 40 years, almost 40 years.
Almost 40 years,
Almost 40 years. Well, great to catch up with you after almost 40 years, probably. Last time I saw you.
Well, 30 anyway.
Okay, 30 years. Anyway, and thank you very much for coming in, and we're looking forward to continuing our relationship together with Toadhall Toys. We're going to give a $50 gift card away at the end of every month, last Tuesday of every month. We're going to quickly read. We have there's been some great entries. I'm going to get Kari to read this entry she's got here.
Well, in this case, it was used Lego to create and produce a stop-motion video for a school project. Featured clip from Good, the Bad, and the Ugly spaghetti western with Clint Eastwood, which I think is fabulous.
There you go.
That somebody that age even knows about the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, that's true. Well educated from their parents.
Absolutely.
But also, see there, you're combining the Lego with stop animation, sort of combining the two. And we don't want to isolate and say, don't use technology. You just use it in a good way.
I just don't want kids plugged in doing nothing but being entertained. Brains go mushy.
Amen to that. I have one entry I'm going to read as well, and it's the person's name, a 13-year-old Josh Yaley from St. Andrews, Manitoba, for being an all-around classic. He's an excellent student. At the completion of grade 6, he was awarded Student of the Year for his performance in academics, sports, and outstanding school citizenship. He's in the 8th grade now, and he remains highly respected by staff and students as he continues to achieve high marks and participate in many extracurricular activities. And that's great to hear that students can be have many things on the go, multidimensional. So Josh Yaley is one of our entries as well. Tune in next Tuesday. We'll be doing the draw for the $50 gift card. Thanks, Carly, for coming in again. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Kari,
yes. Way to go, Michael. Go.
And this is Michael. Well, let's play some kids' music right now. I know it's never too early to play some Nutcracker. So here's a little movement music from Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker.